You think you're staying because you love him. But what if I told you that love has absolutely nothing to do with it? Let's talk about this today so you can see. I know exactly how he thinks. I know exactly how he moves, how he manipulates, because I've been him. I've played the game, I've pulled the strings, and for years I watched women just like you stay trapped, stay convinced that they were fighting for love when in reality it was just control. It was just manipulation. You didn't see it at first. At first, he's everything that you ever wanted. He's charming, he's attentive, he's saying all the right things, he tells you that you're special. And he's never met anyone like you. Sound familiar? That you're different and you believe him. Because you want to and because he knows exactly what you need to hear to fall for him. But then slowly over a period of time, the mask starts to slip. You notice the little things that shift. The way he dismisses your feelings. The way his words don't actually match his actions. The way he pulls you close and then pushes you away. Keeping you in a constant cycle of confusion. Yet you stay. You convince yourself that the good times outweigh the bad. That if you just love him harder, if you just prove that you're worth it, that he'll finally see your value. He'll finally see it, acknowledge, and see you. But he won't. Because he doesn't care about your value. He cares about control. He cares about how he has control over you. Do you see this? He doesn't love you. He loves the way that you make him feel. He loves the power that he has over you. The way that he can break you down and build you back up. Just enough to be able to keep you hanging on. Just by a thread. He keeps you questioning your reality, keeps you questioning yourself. Because if you ever saw him for who he actually was, for who he really was, you'd leave. And he can't let that happen. So he can't let you see who he actually is. For years, I was the one that was pulling the strings. I learned how to twist words, how to shift blame, how to make sure that my wife always felt like she was the problem. I didn't need to yell and I didn't need to get physical. I just need to plant enough doubt, enough fear, and enough hope that she would do the work for me. And every time she came back, every time she forgave me, I knew I still had control. And that's exactly what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He's making sure that you feel like you're the crazy one, like you're the one that's overreacting, like you need to be better, like you need to try harder, like you need to fix yourself. And the whole time he's sitting back and he's watching you chase the version of him that never existed. The version that he created for you to fall in love with. Think about it. How many times has he promised you that he's going to change? That he's promised he's going to do better? How many times has he broken that promise? How many times have you told yourself, this time it's different, only to find yourself back in the same cycle, feeling the same pain, making the same exact excuses for him? You've done this countless times. Because that's what it is. It's just excuses. I know it's hard to hear, but you need to hear that. It hurts. You keep waiting for him to change, and you're going to be waiting forever. He hasn't shifted. He hasn't changed. It keeps happening over and over and over. In fact, he's actually just playing you. He's done this too many times, and he knows exactly what he's doing. Too many times people are like, does he actually know? He's conditioning you. Like every time he ignores you, every time he makes you feel invisible, every time he dismisses your needs, he minimizes your value, it's a calculated move. He's breaking down your confidence. He's rewriting your brain to seek his approval, to come back to him every single time. He's making you believe that his attention has to be something that you have to earn, that you have to win his love. And that's where he starts to win. You start to lower your standards. The thing you once swore you'd never tolerate, you now tolerate daily. You justify it. You make excuses. You tell yourself that all relationships have problems. Maybe I just need to be more patient and he'll work it out. Maybe he's just going through a hard time. You'll think of something to just hold on a little bit longer. Maybe you can get back to the person that he was at the beginning. That person never existed. It was never real. It was just a tool to be able to get you hooked. It was just something to keep you stuck, and now you're stuck. You feel addicted. You crave the moments where he gives you validation because these moments aren't the only thing keeping you from realizing how toxic he actually is, how he's actually destroying you. But you hold tight to moments, you're like, but it's not that bad. Is it? Some of you need to wake up right now to the relationship that you're in. Because once you stop calling it love, you can start calling it what it actually is, control. That's one of the hardest truths that you need to accept, but you need to accept it. You need to hear it. And I know what it looks like when a man wants to change. Then know what it looks like when he's just trying to do it. He wants to keep you under his thumb. Wants to be like, hey, by the way, I'm changing. He's not changing. He's manipulating. He's maintaining his grip onto you. And every day you stay, he wins. Every time you take him back, he wins. Every time you second guess yourself, he wins. Every time you question yourself, he wins. But the moment you walk away, the moment you see through it all, you take back everything he's stolen from you. You take back the reality of who you actually are, and that's what he's actually terrified of. He's scared. He needs you more than you need him. He doesn't want you to realize that. He doesn't want you to see that he's weak without your energy, without leeching off of your validation, your willingness to keep playing his game. And the moment you stop playing, he loses. That's why he does everything. Everything he can to be able to keep you trapped, to be able to keep you stuck. The guilt, the gaslighting, the future faking, none of it is an accident. It's all designed to keep you exactly where you are, questioning yourself, believing in his potential, blaming yourselves for his failures, thinking and hoping and praying that he's going to change, but he never does. If you're watching this, you already know the truth. You probably just don't want to accept it. But here's the reality. He's not the one keeping you stuck anymore. You are. He's not the one holding you hostage. Your mind is. The subconscious programming of what is built inside. It might be the hardest thing to admit, because if you admit it, then you actually have to do something about it. You have to stop waiting for him to change. You have to stop justifying his behavior. You have to start believing that you actually deserve more. But it has to have a shift. A change has to happen now. Because if you don't do something, nothing changes, nothing changes. You stay. You already know how the story ends. You keep waiting, you keep hoping, you keep hurting. And one day you wake up and you realize you've wasted years on someone who never deserved you in the first place. But you justified it, so you stayed. You don't have to let this happen to you. You don't have to stay trapped. You don't have to keep playing his game. You can break free, and you can start that right now. The question is, will you? I want you to go to rawmotivations.com/breakthrough. As being your first step to freedom. And if you don't take it, then you already know how the story ends. You already know where you end up. I want to provide an opportunity, a plan, and a path for you to actually find freedom. Breaking free of the trauma bond, eradicating the triggers, processing the emotion, having healthy boundaries, finding out who you are. If that's what you want, go to rawmotivations.com/breakthrough. Watch the video, hear from myself, hear from my wife, hear from other survivors. Fill out the application, book a call, let's talk. Let's build a plan for you to actually move forward and heal. Don't believe the lie that he's the one keeping you stuck. You are. It's a fine line. It's a fine line I walk in making this video. Because some people are going to hear it and they're going to be like, you're being abusive. You're attacking victims. No, I'm trying to wake you up. Because if nobody wakes you up, you're going to waste next several years in your life wondering, why didn't I leave? What was wrong with me? What could I have done better? Nothing. Because it didn't have anything to do with you. It had to do with him. What he wanted, what he desired. And what he was willing to sacrifice and destroy in order to get what he wanted. If you want the next step to your freedom today, then go to rawmotivations.com/breakthrough. Let's have a conversation and help you heal. You've been told it's all your fault, and that makes you feel crazy. No one understands you, and that leaves you in a place of being alone. You've tried to break free multiple times, and that leaves you helpless because nothing you've done has actually worked. It hasn't actually got you free or liberated from this toxic relationship. So you feel crazy, alone, and hopeless. Guess what? That's a lie. Because all it is how you've been raised and conditioned inside of this abusive relationship over and over. And as a result, you've sacrificed your growth, you've sacrificed your worth, and you've been trapped inside of a toxic relationship. What if I showed you the path to freedom? A way for you to actually get free mentally and emotionally from the toxicity that's happening right here, right now. You deserve more. You deserve to be able to heal. And I want to help you with that. If I can help you with that, go to rawmotivations.com/breakthrough. Schedule a call there and let's talk.